Well, the things you find out. Because it does always help to read the opposing side's evidence before going to court against them, which I hadn't done until now because obviously the original case, which I think was supposed to be March the 20th, was postponed, delayed, whatever. So it's supposed to be happening Thursday. What I've just found out, I'm not quite sure if it will be or not because I'll be phoning the court on Tuesday. All of which will become clear in a minute. I would suggest the word celebration might be a bit premature, but yes, I'm very happy. I've just found out, because as I say, I'd chucked the evidence, I'd glanced at their evidence, and most of it was quite farcical. Things like I'd redacted emails before I'd sent them to the court, and all that was I never used to put my mate with the Burger Van's email address publicly, so I'd send an email, print it off, scan it, put it on Facebook, but I'd score his name out first. So that was me redacting information because I'm trying to hide things. Anyway, it was all stuff like that, so I threw it in the corner, absolute fits of laughter, you know. Where's my bloody light go? So, I've just found out that because of my input at the time Newland bailiffs were coming round, and this is going back to actually my very original video, the very first video, which was a very corrupt chief constable. So I've just found out, because the bailiffs never knocked on the door, because they tried to mark my neighbour's car down, because it was parked next to my house, not in front of my house, on the driveway just along from my house. But apparently I'd colluded with my neighbour to to deliberately confuse the bailiffs on that one. Like, I've got the bloody time, do you know what I mean? So because of all these things they were doing wrong, and I hadn't spoken to them, and they were charging visiting fees, you know, there were apparently serious concerns at the Ministry of Justice about their behaviour. Well, that's a first. No one ever told me. Which still would have been nice, you know, just for them to let me know. Because of your complaints, we are investigating, blah, blah, blah. But no, first I fucking heard of it. And here's the real kicker. Guess who was in charge of the Ministry of Justice at the time? Jonathan Ginogly MP. Hello, John. You're going to jail. And guess who was informed about 30 years of missing taxpayers' money, stolen taxpayers' money, by myself, which is why the whole council thing came about. Not paying the council tax came about because I wanted to see what they do. Yes, Jonathan Ginogly MP was informed of that, and he said it wasn't his job to investigate. So we can see now, obviously, how they all work together. Newland refused to cooperate with Cambridge County Court into any investigation. I can only assume they refused to cooperate with the Ministry of Justice, and they were allowed to get away with that. Because, of course, these people have contracts with like 50 or 75 councils. Something like that. And how many people know, I wonder? Obviously, a lot of my viewers and such like will be quite savvy and quite clued up. But how many people know, I wonder, that bailiffs have to knock on the door? That they have to speak to someone over 18? That they can't just post what's called a walking possession order, because that has to be signed by the occupant of the house, and that has to be an agreed list made up of items that the bailiff will take if you cannot pay whatever debt it is. I mean, how many people know this stuff? So I wonder how many people these Newland bailiffs have conned. Because if they're coming around my place doing that, they're going around everyone's place doing that. And if you don't complain, well, nothing's happened to them except that they obviously never got paid for that job because the council knew they were breaking the law but decided to take no action other than not pay them for that job. So, as regards my earlier comments about the case possibly being postponed again, I don't know. I'm going to have to phone the court on Tuesday morning, and I'm going to request that Ginogly is present in that courtroom, whether that be happening on Thursday or whether it has to be delayed for him to, have a gap in his schedule. Quite what he does, I don't know. He's obviously not concerned about theft from the public purse. And I shall also be requesting, because of comments made within the evidence by a certain council officer, who I won't name at the minute, I shall also be requesting that he is present so that I can question him. Because, to be honest, what an absolute fucking disgrace. I wasn't even informed that they were being looked at by the Ministry of Justice. I mean, that is an absolute shambles. I received nothing back from my correspondence except, I think, a letter from the council, which I've actually just looked at this morning, said something about they must look at the ways in which they carry out debt collection. And that was it. That was all I ever had in response to 5, 6, 7 complaints maybe about these people coming around my house threatening to force entry when I wasn't there, saying I've lied because I said I was never there, but I did happen to see them on the first visit and noted down their van registration. So obviously I was lying and I was home every time they came round. I thought it'd be obvious I was home if I'd noted down the registration, but no, apparently not. Anyway, what a kicker, eh? On top of how well everything else is going, with the police flapping about redefining the meaning of words in the Oxford English Dictionary, and the council issuing their own court summons completely illegally. I've just got the Ministry of Justice in the net. So this is going to get very, very interesting now. I shall see you later. Thank you for watching, my lovely people.